Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time. Imagine a world where every single living thing, from the tiniest bug to the biggest whale, was thought to be a fixed, unchanging creation. Seriously, that was the dominant view before 1859. The incredible diversity of life we see all around us was a huge mystery, and the accepted answer was pretty simple. Everything was just made exactly as we see it today, perfect and permanent. But then, with this one idea, Charles Darwin basically lit a match. He argued that species weren't fixed at all. Nope. Instead, he said they were all connected, like distant cousins on a massive family tree, all descended from common ancestors. Now, you gotta understand, this wasn't just some new scientific theory. It was a seismic shift in how we understood our place in the universe. So, why was this idea such a bombshell? To really get it, we need to go back and look at the central puzzle Darwin was trying to piece together. So the whole established view was built on this concept of immutable species. The best way to think about it is like a gallery full of perfect statues. Each one was created on its own, and any little difference you might spot between two robins, for example, was just seen as a tiny flaw, not a hint that change could even happen. And right there is the conflict. On one hand, you had naturalists who were out in the world, and they were seeing incredible variety everywhere they looked. They saw animals and plants with these amazing adaptations, perfectly suited for their environments. But on the other hand, the belief system said nothing ever changes. This real-world evidence just didn't square with the official story. It was a huge contradiction just sitting there, waiting for someone to explain it. Now, Darwin's theory wasn't some sudden light bulb moment. Not even close. It was the result of more than 20 years of incredibly detailed, painstaking work. He absolutely knew, his ideas would cause an uproar, so he spent decades just building a mountain of evidence, piece by piece, before he was finally pushed to share his theory with the world. So see, Darwin didn't just say, hey, things change. His real, honest-to-goodness breakthrough was figuring out how they change. He uncovered the engine that drives this entire process, and the amazing part is, it's actually pretty straightforward. He called this engine natural selection. It's a hugely powerful idea, but it's really just based on a few simple logical steps. It's not some conscious force out there picking winners and losers. It's just a natural consequence of the way life works. It all starts with something you can see for yourself, variation. Just look around. In any group of animals or plants, no two individuals are exactly the same. And these little differences, however slight, are the raw material for everything that follows. Without variation, nothing can change. Period. The next piece of the engine is selection. Darwin realized that way more offspring are born than can possibly survive. This creates what he famously called the struggle for existence. And in this intense competition, any individual that just happens to be born with a slight advantage, it doesn't matter how small, well, it has a better shot at surviving and having its own kids. And here's the final piece, the real secret sauce, accumulation. Those helpful little traits, they get passed down from parent to child. And over immense, truly mind-boggling stretches of time, these small advantages build up, one generation after the next, slowly but surely transforming the entire species. Darwin himself described this process so beautifully. It's this relentless, constant force, daily and hourly scrutinizing the tiniest differences. It's this slow, patient, and powerful process of adding things up that ultimately creates the breathtaking diversity of life on Earth. Okay, so you've got this engine of variation, selection, and accumulation. But what does the result look like? To make this abstract idea real, Darwin gave us a single, powerful metaphor that changed everything. First things first, you have to completely forget the idea of a ladder. That old picture of life as a straight line of progress, from simple things at the bottom to more complex things, with humans sitting right at the very top. Throw that idea out. The much better way to see it is as a massive branching tree. Life just spreads out in every possible direction, exploring countless ways of being. There's no plan here, no final goal, it's just constant, unplanned growth and adaptation, filling every nook and cranny of the world. Now, the most profound meaning of this tree is that if you follow any two branches, any two at all, back far enough, they will always eventually connect. This is the incredible idea of common descent. It means every living thing on this planet, from a bacterium to a blue whale, is related. We are all part of the same immense family tree. So what makes the tree branch out like that? Darwin called it divergence of character. To put it simply, it's a huge advantage for new generations to be different from their relatives. It lets them find new food, new habitats. It lets them seize new places in what Darwin called the economy of nature, avoiding having to compete directly with their cousins. So when you put all of this together, Darwin's work is this gigantic shift in perspective. It moves us away from seeing life as a static, finished product and toward seeing it as a dynamic, messy, beautiful, and never-ending process. So what's the big takeaway from all this? What does this new way of looking at life really help us to see? It reveals that you don't actually need a miracle to explain the incredible complexity and beautiful adaptations you see in nature. Instead, all of it can emerge from just a few simple, observable rules: variation, struggle, inheritance, just acting over vast, vast periods of time. And as Darwin himself wrote in the final famous line of the book, there is a real grandeur in this view of life. The idea that all this beauty and wonder could have evolved and is still evolving from such a simple beginning, well, it's one of the most profound and awesome ideas in human history. For the full, long-form, deep dive into this book and its ideas, follow the link in the description. If you enjoy this kind of systems-level analysis, please like, subscribe, and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.